Right, so on the left-hand side, we have here Robert. He is playing the 126th Light Gornostrelkovy Corps on balanced income, and he is up against Fitz, playing the Panzergrenadier Gross Deutschland, also on balanced income. Let's have a look at the decks. I'll have to bring mine up on screen because I'm stupid and forgot to do it before I started. And okay, so here Robert's deck. Balanced income, we've got 2 C-phase cards of infantry, so plenty of infantry, 129 units in total. Can you remember the days when we had like 180 odd units of infantry? Luckily not quite the same now. We've got a nice big card of ISU 152, big card of KV85, and a nice card of 4 A20C Bostons as well. Those Bostons can do an incredible amount of damage. We've also got like 6 P40N fighter bombers, so Robert can do a lot of damage from the skies, and those ISUs could kill a lot of units as well. And the KV85s they're definitely a pretty decent heavy tank, so maybe we're going to see 126th balanced win victory. Who knows at this point? Heading on over to the right-hand side, though, plenty of Tigers. How many? 8, 12, 16 Tigers in total. So a plentiful amount of Tigers, I would say. 105 units of infantry, not quite as many units of infantry. We've got 3 Panther Ds, so plenty of heavy tanks. Not too much aircraft. We've got the single card of Focke-Wulf 190A6. They're going to have their work cut out as fighters. But plenty of Flak 4188s, mobile wagons, and Flak 4337mm. So maybe here Robert won't be able to control the skies. I think that will be an important kind of distinction. Who can control the skies? If Fitz can kind of keep here Robert's planes at bay, maybe his Tigers can decimate everything else. And because the Tigers can definitely deal with the KV-1s pretty successfully. The ISUs might be a little bit of a problem. And actually, how is Fitz going to deal with those ISU 152s? That's probably going to be a bit of a question. I think he is going to have to use his Tigers and his Panthers. He can still lose his vehicles in those engagements, so that could be kind of a pretty key aspect as well. Let's get the game underway. So on the left, we have here Robert playing the 126th Gornostrelkovy. Balanced income, looks like he's going pretty heavy down south, and also a sneaky position up north with a PTRS. I think it's a PTRS down south as well. And on the right, we have Fitz playing the Panzergrenadier Gross Deutschland, also on balanced income. A fairly balanced setup across the board, plenty of defensive units in all positions. Looks like Herr Robert's units faster into the battlefield on those WLA bikes. An artillerist, nice and far forwards early on, which we don't often see. A few PTRSs in here. We got the BT7, the speedy tanks. PTRS 41 dropping smoke. Might actually get a nice snipe here. Doesn't quite get the unit kill, but might still get the half-track kill. That's quite a nice kill there, because that half-track's a fairly expensive one. That was a 251/21. There is one up north as well. 30-point half-track sniped by that PTRS, and I'm a bit worried about the one up north as well. Can't quite see it right now, but that could go down as well. BT7 pushing through, but there is a Panzerschreck about to get sight lines onto it. Does fire a shot and get the BT7 kill. Nice job from Fitz down here on the south, and he now has the tank advantage with the Stug 3G, and there's not really too much that can stand up to that Stug, but Fitz definitely needs more infantry down in the southern side to hold back here Robert in the south. A couple of Stugs into the center. They can certainly control the engagement in the center until those Stugs are taken down. And the 251-21 did go down to the PTRS up north. So 60 points lost to those two PTRS squads. The 251/1 pushing forwards, picking up the flag to start off with, holding the 1212 PV40N coming into play down on the southern side. Is he going after that Stug 3G? Looks like it is. Not really getting the kill. Thanks for the follow, Knight 5810. Stug 3G backing away for now. Fitz definitely needs more infantry. Here Robert pouring in the reinforcements. He's definitely looking to overwhelm Fitz's forces down here on the south, and I think he can do it. He's going straight in for the Gornostrelki grenade kill. No, I was thinking it was a grenade. The way they were just charging at that Stug 3G, I thought he had a grenade on that unit. And that was just the assumption. I guess Robert was just being ultra aggressive down on the south. But ultimately doesn't really come to anything. We do have an early flak 43-37mm coming in onto the battlefield to help out in the skies. Fitz is going to discover the artillerist, so that unit's kind of going to go down. Is it going to go down? Surely it's going to get discovered. Yeah, it is. I think the 38T helped discover that. Looks like something kind of took the flags in the back there, but didn't quite see what that was. But Fitz needs to recover this southern side. I think here Robert's almost pushed through here. He just has a few more units to get through, and that Stug's in an incredibly tough position right now. The P40N's going after it again. Does get the kill. And now this southern side is really open for here Robert. The 38T can definitely destroy a lot of units, but he can't do everything all at once. And I think his infantry is going to start moving forwards to secure this, to really kind of secure this position. It'd be good to see tanks. Yeah, here we go. BT7's on the way in as well, along with Avtos, with the Moskaya Avtos, which I think have the grenades on them. Yeah, they do have the grenades, so plenty of AT equipment on the infantry as well. GD Sturmgruppe go down, and it's just the 38T now in defense. If Robert can take that unit down, he has full control over the south. I mean, he's pretty much got full control anyway right now, and especially with the BT7s rushing in here, no real unit that can take down those BT7s coming in for Fitz, and the P40 on the way already to try and get that Panzer 38T kill. Here it goes, diving in. Ooh, not quite getting the correct drop location. Stug 3G still in position from Fitz, but I don't think they've really moved right now, so not really getting the sight lines that Fitz needs. Here Robert's up to a 15-9 thanks to the recovery of the flags in the north and obviously the breakthrough that he's made in the south. Look at this PTRS 41 unit all the way down here. That could snipe some reinforcements in, although I don't think this road is actually used that often for reinforcements. 38T finally goes down to a BT7 coming around the through the houses there. And here Robert's so far forwards, it's going to be difficult for Fitz to kind of push back in, especially, yeah, when we see AT guns start to come in. An AT gun sort of down here covering this road would be fantastic for here Robert. It would really stop Fitz bringing in any kind of units up onto that plateau down in the south. Looks like the Stug 3G has started to move forwards in the center. Fitz has to start a push back somewhere. Here Robert has the 16-8 right now. Fitz cannot allow him to hold on to this 16-8. Moskaya Avto coming into the buildings to help secure the position. Another P40N on the way in. I imagine that's going after an infantry unit. Yeah, onto the Panzer Grenadiers. Drops its payload. Picks up the kill. Those P40s, we're going to have to check out the cost of those because they're really doing well right now. Fitz has no kind of AA, no kind of fighter coming out here to defend. He's just losing unit after unit to these fighter bombers. BT7's pushing forwards. I think Herr was kind of looking for the surrender there. Has to be a little bit careful. They do still have the Panzerfaust on them. And look at these BT7s just try and race through and clear up all the half-tracks and light vehicles. He still has some Moskaya Pekota in the transports, just not doing anything right now. Fitz still trying to push forwards in the centre. I mean, he has the Stug 3G, so he can still, you know, win the engagements against the BT7s and try and leverage that tank advantage in the centre, but I think he has to start doing that. Hey, Robert, you know, 16-8, 15-9. Looks like we got a sneaky 38T trying to get round the sides here. Ooh, does get a sneaky side shot onto that BT7. P40N, though, coming in. Trying to hit the Stug 3G, doesn't quite get the target. 37 mils in the action now as well. Moskaya Avto. Pick up the kill on the Sturm Group. Panzer Grenadiers getting a Panzerfaust kill onto the BT7. They need to retreat out of line of sight of the second one. We do have a Stug 3G up here, but there was a ZIS-2 gun in the area. Did that go down? Must have gone down at some point. We do have the 251/21 coming in that took in the Panzerschreck, but I'm not quite sure these drillings are going to do enough damage. Ooh, and Fitz losing this flag back here thanks to the Moskaya Pekota just chilling in the open ground. Almost kind of cutting off the reinforcements. And not really cutting them off because they can't kill any of the reinforcements, but at least it lets Herr know exactly what's coming in. Up north, we've got the Moskaya Pekota sort of testing the water, pushing forwards up in the northern side. Herr not letting Fitz rest for a moment. BT7s have gone down in the advanced positions. Here's the ZIS-2 gun that was there before. And actually, if Herr moves it into this kind of position, you can easily cut off this reinforcement road here. So I think that's what he's going for with that ZIS-2 gun. BT7s start to race forwards. There is still a Stug 3G for them to deal with. And I think the Stug can definitely outmuscle those BT7s. Yeah, down goes one. The other one should go down as well. Robert's trying to get it out of line of sight. Ooh, does so just in time. The Stug 3G starts to move forward, but the the Moskaya Avto migrate grenade kill. Fitz notices just in the nick of time and pulls back that Stug 3G. The Ju-87 coming in, but there's just too many infantry units to deal with. The Ju-87 is just not going to be able to deal with them all. We'll pin down a hell of a lot of units. Yeah, just can't deal with everything. Just cannot deal with everything. Still a 16-8 for Herr. 10 minutes left on the clock. Fitz does clear up a unit here. Doesn't quite get the flag back, and all of the infantry's gone down, really. It's just the vehicles remaining. Fitz really looking kind of overwhelmed right now. If you look at the number of Herr units on the ground compared to Fitz's, Herr just has way too much stuff for Fitz to deal with right now. More reinforcements coming up north to help push that. Fitz can't really afford to reinforce the north. He's got to reinforce the centre. He's got to try and push back the south. Fitz in all kinds of trouble right now. It's going to be tough to see him get the victory here. I think Herr put himself in a fantastic position, and all he has to do right now is just hold his positions, kind of dig in, and let Fitz push back. But he's just going to pour on even more pain with the off-map call-in. Might not really... Oh, with the 37 mil just pushing forwards right into that off-map as well. And the Pack 40 on the way. Oh, this is just horrible to watch right now. Oh, this off map could just do so much damage. Just when Fitz really needs to push back, Robert's going to unleash hell on this southern side. Ooh, unit going down. Thanks to the PTRS here. Value from that PTRS unit. Here comes the off map. Ah, it's almost hard to watch right now. Pack 40 loses some numbers. Will Robert get the kills? Panzer goes down there. I think Fitz is going to get away without the kills, but a lot of his units pinned down. There's just no way for him to push back here right now. And it just gives Robert just mountains of time to kind of dig in his positions up north. He has successfully pushed through. And 38Ts, although they can kind of defend against infantry units, they can't hold the flags because they're recon units. So, you know, he does need other units up there as well. Panzergrenadiers in the open kind of surround the Avtos and the PTRS in the buildings. Thanks very much for the follow, Vesely. 16-8 to here, Robert. Another off map coming in. Just no opportunity for Fitz to push back up here onto this hill. I think he kind of should just give up this southern position for a while. Try and reinforce the center and the north. But it's kind of a case. What's the wording where you've kind of put so much into something that you kind of continue to lose in that position? Oh, I can't think of the wording, but it's a psychological thing where you put so much into an area that you don't cut your losses because you've already invested so much that you just keep getting invested in the area. Oh, I'm totally messing up this cast right now. JU87 goes down to the P40N. 15-9 still to here, Robert. 5 minutes left on the clock. I think it's pretty obvious that here Robert's going to get the victory right now. Fitz just not able to afford the reinforcements. His infantry, or his units in general, are just much more costly than the 20-point infantry that here Robert's bringing in. So every time a unit goes down, it's just a trade in here Robert's advantage, really. Sunk cost fallacy. That is it. Thanks, Beta Slicer, in the Twitch chat. Sunk cost fallacy. I think that's the problem right now. You're trying to fight in, and you've put so much trying to fight back against the enemy in a position that you kind of get into that sunk cost fallacy kind of thought style where you kind of just continue pouring more and more in there when you should just at some point give up and go somewhere else because you're kind of never going to get back. But we do have the advantage of knowing exactly what here Robert's got in here, and Fitz might not know that. He might just think there's a few units kind of holding out as the Stub 3G goes down to the ZIS-2. No, the ZIS-2 gun here, moving through the tree line. But there's just so much stuff that there's no way Fitz is going to be able to get this one back. The JU87D5 as it dives down to destroy the ZIS-2 gun. Beautiful. I love watching the JU87 dive in for the attacks. Looks like we got another off map into the center. Fitz is just, unfortunately, just getting pummeled right now. And there's not much more that he can do. His reinforcements, I think really as a German division against a cheaper Allied division, if you start to lose early, even though these are on the same income, there is still kind of an income advantage because all of here Robert's units are 20 points and 25 points. Maybe not maybe not all, but the majority of here Robert's units are cheaper than Fitz's. Even though there's not an income advantage in terms of the players' incomes, there is still an income advantage to the division that here Robert's playing because every single reinforcement, he can kind of get more onto the field than Fitz can. So you do have to be careful playing this kind of heavy Panzer division on the German side. If you take a lot of losses early, it's almost game over in a way. You have to trade effectively. And I feel like Herr just pushed this southern side just fantastically well. He didn't let up until he'd fully secured it. And then as soon as he secured it, he pushed up in the north. And then it wasn't until long into the game that he was able to push really into the center. Thanks very much for the raid, El Bowser. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, everyone. And we're just finishing off the cast, Herr versus Fitz. Herr well into the driving seat here. 16-8, 2 minutes left on the clock. Fitz is definitely not giving up. All power to him, to remaining kind of in the fight as long as possible. But this one really is a losing fight for him right now. 17 minutes on the clock, 2 minutes left until Herr gets the victory. And I think we can all see there's no real way that Fitz can get back into it. But all credit for him, he's not giving up. He's still trying to get the fight. Herr, a fantastic competitor though. I think he got relegated from Division 1 down to Division 2 last season. So, you know, Herr's looking to prove something, looking to get back into Division 1. Whereas I think Fitz is at least a new player to my knowledge, unless he's changed name. I don't recall Fitz from the previous season of Steel Division League, so he might be a new player into Division 2. Certainly a good player if he is playing Division 2. And although Herr's won the game today, I wouldn't say Fitz has like played terribly. Herr just got the advantage early on, pushed through the breakout, and you know, sometimes all it needs is one breakout in the south or one breakout in a position, and that can just hammer you. And you know, like I just talked about with the division incomes, the kind of division that Herr is, one kind of breakthrough like he was able to produce, he can just pour in the cheap reinforcements, lock down the position, and there wasn't really a lot Fitz could have done. Other than avoiding the initial breakout, afterwards it was just so hard for him to push back. Vega Rats, he was in your division last season. What division was that? Sorry. I'm not aware of it. So he was playing last season then. I think I did come back late to last season, so I didn't cast a hell of a lot of games from Season 5 Steel Division League. P40N heading in here, trying to get the Panzer 38T kill. I wanted to check the price of that unit, 110 points. So yeah, what's that? 250, 450 kilograms of bombs on a 110 point plane. Definitely not done with the plane balancing as far as I'm concerned. Eugen still need to look at planes. They've kind of upped the price of some planes and not other planes, so they still need to look at that. But congratulations to Robert, commiserations to Fitz. He was a Division 2 player last season, so yeah, still clearly didn't get relegated, clearly deserves his place in Division 2. But today wasn't his day. Congratulations to Herr. 1,700 kills to 1,400 losses. Commiserations to Fitz. Clearly, as we can see, there wasn't that much difference between the kills and the losses. I think it was just Herr was able to bring more reinforcements onto the battleground. So he just had way more stuff on by the end. Let's just have a look at the kills for Herr. Look at the value on this PTRS 41. I mean, that is a 20-point half track. That is a minimum of 20-point half track as well. I think that's even more. The 9D is the kind of IG-18. I think that's like a 30-point half track. So that's like 50 points right there. Plus the 10-point, I think that's a 10-point half track. That's like 60 points. Plus a Panzergren squad, which is like another 30 points. I think that's 90 points of value in that 10-point PTRS 41 unit. Wow. That is a huge amount of value. So if you're not using PTRS 41s in your multiplayer divisions, well, if you're in team games, maybe not, but if you're in 1v1, start thinking about putting those PTRS 41s in your decks, because it only needs one unit like that And that can like make the entire game. BT7 down here did kill a few units of half track and 38T. Definitely like not shining, but did enough work. Huge value for insanely little cost. Yeah, I mean, I understand why they're so cheap, because let's face it, if they get spotted at any kind of range, they're going to go down immediately. But at the same time, it's like we were talking about the modders earlier. At the same time, I can understand why they're so cheap, but they can provide you with so much value if they're kind of used correctly, or you get a little bit lucky sometimes. P40N picks up the Stug 3G kill and the Ju-87 D5 kill. I still think there are fighter bombers out there that need to go up in price. We saw that in the previous game that we casted as well, with the Kitty Hawks at like 105 points. And, you know, I'm still not sure playing balance is perfect right now. I guess balance is never going to be perfect, but there's still stuff that needs to be looked at. Yeah, and that's kind of like, that's the story of the early game, really, isn't it? PTRS picking up tons of value. BT7 like clearing up a lot of half tracks that are going to do damage against these infantry units, and then a few infantry units kind of trading 2 for 1. P40N coming in here destroying the Stug 3G, and that's kind of like game over. That was the southern side kind of opened and then locked down straight after. And that's really it. M3S clearing up a few lighter units. Good job from Herr. PTRS usually decimate convoys, but it does work well. Yeah, when you can get them into position and the enemy doesn't know where they are, they can just destroy so much stuff for you. Stug 3G, I think this was the one in the center. Yeah, because it picked up the artillerist kill. Interesting decision from Herr to bring in that artillerist at the start of the game. You don't see many players do that, so not 100% sure whether that's something that Herr does all the time, or whether there's any kind of reason for it, but you don't see too many players do that. I think he just values the optics early on into the game. And yeah, the Stug 3Gs, they just controlled that centre ground for such a long time. Herr really wasn't able to push through there while those Stug 3Gs were in that centre position. Yeah, Stug 3Gs getting more kills. Really, the Stug 3Gs were the threat to Herr, and he was able to dispatch them eventually.